All right, so before I actually jump into a project, the first question you really got to ask and ask the client is, what are you making? And you think that's an easy question, but it seems not to be. Lots of times clients, they just know they want a video and they need to make a video, but they really don't have any idea what they want. I shouldn't say any idea. Some people do have ideas, but what you need to do is you got to find the scope of work. And by doing that, you got to ask a lot of questions. And usually the first question you want to ask is, where is this video going to be shown? And lots of time now it's social media. So it's Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, and now a lot with LinkedIn. And each of those platforms actually have certain specific things that you need to do to like make the videos better for those things. And we're actually going to go over that a little bit more. But in the questioning of the clients, you need to ask, where is this going to go? Another question to be like more specific is actually how many videos do you want? Because after you're done making a production, you can actually make as many videos as you want from it, even though if you plan to only make one. So like give that opportunity to them to understand, like, you know, we're going to shoot a bunch of stuff for you. You know, we could do this with YouTube. We could do this with Twitter. We could make this for a commercial for television. You know, be mindful of that. But also for those things, you need to know the duration for each video. So lots of times, I know I was talking to someone earlier and they said they wanted this in the video. And they usually only make 3-minute videos. But like, obviously what they were asking for was an 8-minute video. So it just goes, you got to talk to the client a lot, probably more than you would think, because they don't know what they really want. And I think even for people that do know a lot, you just need to ask a lot of questions. Also, this is just like a minor note. If you are shooting interviews, it does help to go and get transcripts afterwards, because when you dive into the edit, you can actually give these transcripts to your client and they know exactly what you're working with, and they can already start cutting out pieces that you don't want to spend lots of time working on. All right, so I'm going to jump into an edit real quick. This was, let's see here. This was an edit done by a couple of guys. It was shot by Matt Thornton here, who's hosting the show. And it was edited first by me, and then I think Courtney took like a couple swings at it, and then I took like the final swing at it. So let me get back so I can see my notes. I just want to show real quick actually how I organized before I dive into anything. Well, actually, all you guys are up on top of my screen, and I can't see anything. Let's move you away. All right. You guys are looking at me. I don't need to look at you. All right. It's weird that I can't hear you guys. I almost want to like unmute everybody so we can all talk. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Organize. So if you guys didn't know what I just did, I hit the tilde button. I'm going to go over shortcuts as I talk. And it is probably the most used shortcut on my keyboard. If you didn't know, tilde is the top left button. It looks kind of cool. Looks like a wave. And especially when you're in like a laptop and you don't have the opportunity to like look at all the windows, hitting tilde will make this full screen. I'm showing you this with my hands, like you can't see what's happening. You can see it's full screen, and that really helps you work from window to window. So this is just like a basic of like, I have my folders. There's really nothing in here. But since I knew I was going to be working with a bunch of different people, you really want to have this as organized as possible. And so I actually would have another folder in here. Oh no, it's not there. I'm sorry. It's right here. Media sync. And that's where you have all your footage. And I actually use a software called Pluralize that I won't go into now, but it actually syncs all your footage together and makes it one long sequence. And I usually just put that in there. And then I would have my sequences set up. And every time I get to a point to an edit, I will duplicate and then make a new one. So I can always go back. And I'll probably talk about that a little bit more. So let me get out of here full screen. As you can see on top, this is actually really basic. I actually have something different when I'm actually working. I have the different types of workspaces where I call one lifestyle. That was just something I went in and changed for fun because I had so many specific windows and stuff up. I customized that. So you notice I have a lot of customizations before I even dive into editing to make myself faster. But I use that up there to go from color to editing to sound a lot faster than going up in here into windows. And also when working with clients, that's also faster so they can see everything. But if you can see over here, I have a bunch of custom-made ones because sometimes I'm working with monitors or working with a computer that has 2 monitors, has 3 monitors. When I go into a different agency and working, I have this like saved on my profile, and then I just bring up my preferences again, and I have all this there. So I know like today I'm working at MarcUSA, they have 3 monitors, and I can just click on that directly and have my setup. I mean, there's not wasting like an hour time of like getting all my shortcuts and stuff ready. So I talked about a lot so far, guys. Is there any questions or anything? Any comments? No? Just you guys, I can see you, so you can give me the heads. Okay. All right, I'm gonna keep moving on here. Let's see, folder structure. We went over folder structures, workspaces. Oh, so here's a cool trick I like to do. So like I said, when I sync, I just use pluralize, and this is what you get. You'll just get a super long thing of your timeline. And generally, it's obviously how you shot. So whatever is you shot in the beginning of the day is in the front, and what you shot at the end of the day is in the end. Now, obviously, not all projects you're shooting in that sequence, but it helps you to understand that way. Because what I end up doing, I don't end up working in my projects folder, like pulling the clips out and bringing it down to the timeline. What I do is I start working in here, and what I can do is here, this is gonna take a second. Whoops, I'm hitting the tilde button to keep, uh-oh. Did you guys see that? I got the circle there for a second. That's nice and scary. Oh, now it's on the, here we go. All right, we're gonna do the double timeline. It's gonna do it for me, come on. Come on. There, got it. So I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but what I do here is like I'll have my timeline, like my main timeline, or like the finished edit, close to the finished edit on the bottom, and then the long version on the top. Ooh, that's a little loud. Let's turn that down. Quick, that was another shortcut. Actually, what I just did was Command A selects everything. I hit G to get all the sound, and then that I can quickly change everything I selected. So I just did -6 and hit enter real quick there to turn that down. So actually when I would work in here, I would pull my cuts and put them on the bottom instead of working in the project manager and bringing them into the source. You don't have to do it this way. It's generally is kind of something you do when you're really early in the cut. And it actually is, it works better with interviews than it does like narratives. So let's see here, checking my notes, guys. So another shortcut that I do a lot, especially for interviews and these kind of cuts. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit more because it's people screaming and stuff. Is if you also notice so far that I'm doing a lot on the keyboard as it is already. So obviously spacebar is the regular play. All right, you got and if you hit L, it speeds everything up. If you hold Shift and L, you can do like frames. Actually, I can slow it down too. But you have complete control of the speed with holding Shift, hitting J, hitting K or L, and with spacebar. Now, if you have your shortcuts set up, so like I do, like on my left hand, the A is everything, it cuts everything. I'm hitting plus to zoom in. And so this is what I call speed editing. So I can just sit here and go through. I just realized I'm cutting like the booty part. Let's get to something not so bootylicious here. All right. Now I'm not actually looking what I'm cutting. This is just for fun and just to show you guys. Actually, let's get rid of the double sequence so you guys can see better. There we go. Everyone can still see, correct? It's all looking good. See the timelines? No problem? All right, sweet. So I'll get in here and someone will be talking and interesting, and I can just really go fast. And then I can hit A, give myself a cut. Say to like the end of this code, say I like that person that got the stamp. That part was good, and cut here. Or actually, let's do the opposite. Say I didn't like that part. Something about that area I didn't like. I can hit D which is my select. What I think is default is select. And then Shift D is delete. And it deletes. Now, what happens is when you get fast at doing this, you can go really quick through interviews and stuff. So I'll show you a quick example of how I can do this. A again, back, D, Shift, D, delete. And it's just continue. I know that was a lot. I'm going to do it one more time. Hitting this plus button. Hit space. Let's say I do want that, but I want nothing before it. A, select, Shift D is delete. Right there, hit A to cut. Come out here, delete. And what you do, you get really good at that. And then so those first 2 hours of like editing is like, I consider it like speed editing. You can get so quick you don't even use the mouse at first. All right. Any questions from that, guys? I know that was a lot of shortcuts. And I wish I could sit here and actually show you what my shortcuts are. Maybe there'll be another time and I can type that up. But really it came into like when I took the shortcuts from somebody, but then eventually I just start making my own. And you realize how comfortable you get. And sometimes certain ways your finger always hits this button and that's what you want. You want. Let's keep moving along, guys. All right, we're gonna move to the next project. All right, so this project was let's see here, was a short film I worked on a couple years ago. Let's make sure everything's up. What was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah, I know there was a note here. I forgot to say there is a slight warning. There is like a shirtless man in this clip coming up. If anyone don't want to be offended, it's for comedy purposes. I didn't even think about it until I start working. I was like, anyone's not gonna like the shirtless man, but that's gonna be coming. So that's your warning right now. Anyways, as a note is production, guys. If you guys didn't know, there's like 3 ways to make everything, or it's just 3 phases. Like first you have the pre-production where you write the movie or write the project, and then you shoot the project, which could end up being completely different because of whatever circumstances, and then you edit the project, which could change too. And also, like what's what they say about fixing in post, is to be honest, I think that is more than true. Is you can fix a lot in post. You can change a lot in post. And that's what I'm going to try to show you guys here by deconstructing this short film. But first, let's see if I can actually show it, just this scene right here. So here you go, guys. Let me give you some context. The main character just got injured, I believe, working out because he's trying to impress a girl. Realize I'm all black. He's trying to impress a girl, but at the same time, he wants to be a model, a fat model. So his agent keeps calling him to make sure he's gaining weight. Well, at the same time, he is losing weight. Here you go. That's the girlfriend's dog, or he wants to be the girlfriend's dog.
Actually, I don't have any ice packs.
That's okay.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. You're allergic to dogs.
Oh, it's like only if I get like the dander on my body and on my face, I'll be okay.
Skylar, what do you have?
You know what? It's probably like a bunny or something. You know dogs.
I don't have any bunnies in the house.
I know. That's why it would be so weird, right? You know what? I gotta take this. I'm sorry.
Skylar, what are you playing with?
Hello?
De La May. What up, Bay?
Nothing. Just eating.
Oh, you better be. You know, we only got 2 more days to plump those cheeks.
Yeah, I'm more dedicated than I've ever been.
I hope so, you saucy bitch, because I am gonna fill you full of cream and then put you out there for the whole world to see. Then we'll eat, okay? Toots! You're right, Betty. He is exercising. I can hear it in his voice. You know what, Winston? No television programs tonight. Daddy has a hurt heart.
All right. I always forget how a little bit goofy that is. And I was like, oh, maybe I should show that. And then it's like, oh well. So I hope you guys enjoyed that real quick. kind of dive in here and show you like some things that we did to make this work better. All right. So a lot of editing is done with pacing. And I think as the longer I've done editing, it's weird to say it's a feeling, because I don't know how you can teach a feeling. I know there's certain things to say like, it feels like 30 seconds after that, you need to have something happen. I think there is some truth to that. But I'm just kind of go in here. And I mean, just know that as a thought that you can feel it. Like you can feel when like you're more interested and less interested, and just be like, and just go with that feeling. Trust yourself to know like when you feel less engaged, there's probably something wrong there, and not to like just leave that alone. Be like, oh, I spent 20 minutes on that part. It's probably good. But if you still have that feeling, so I had that happen to me a lot in edits where like I just pushed through it, even though it looks okay. The client really hasn't said anything about it, but deep down I know there's something wrong. So that's what I want to say about, you know, pacing is a feeling.
Okay.
But you know, I think there's some truth to that too. All right. Forgot what I was gonna say here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to find where I want to talk, where I want to get to. Where is him standing up? Okay. Let's show that a little more. So one way to what I want to is to hide cuts is basically you want to cut on action.
I gotta take this. I'm sorry.
He's getting up, and I'm cutting there. Now, obviously, that's what you want to do because you don't want anyone to know that anyone has ever cut anything, correct? So you want to hide these cuts. And actually, you can see if you notice real close, he's pulling his phone out here. It's already in his hand. And goes to his head. But when he stands up, it's already in his hand. But I bet that most people, when they first watched this, they probably didn't notice because I made sure that when I cut, he's pretty much in the same spot when he's getting off this couch right here.
I'm sorry.
So as an audience, you don't really feel that like, you know, something is off. And also, this is also what I consider a transition, because also what happens a lot of times for any type of audience when like a moment is over, like this moment of them talking.
I don't have anybody's in the house.
And then it transitions to the next moment. And this is not just for narratives. I know this is a narrative. I'm talking about commercials and anything else you make. Is that's when people like want to like disengage. So if that moment is not entertaining or sometimes doesn't hook you to the next, that's when you lose them. And just as simple as something like having the action feel the same can get your audiences to keep watching.
Sorry.
Skylar, what are you playing with?
Hello? De La May.
Also, a little trick we did here. When Ray comes up to the camera, the shot right here, he is obviously to the left of the shot. And then when it cuts over to Shannon, he is the right of the shot. But we actually shot it the opposite, as you can see right here in the source. And so when I came into editing, it felt really weird to cut in between both of them when they were on the same side. And at first I actually didn't even fix this. It was just one of those weird feelings until I realized that was the problem. So I had to like go into the effects controls and switch him. And hopefully no one noticed because he has tattoos of like words. And I was a little nervous that someone would be like, that reads backwards. But that was a note we had to do there.
Just eating.
Oh, you better be.
I'm trying not to stay on him as I talk about this. All right, let's check my notes. Fixing in post. Flipped Shannon. All right, well, we can move from the naked Shannon here. We're going to move to the this other edit. All right, so this was a project I did with comedian Matt Light that was sponsored by Iron City. We called it The Tailgoat, and it was a project where we went to the away divisional games, and we would tailgate the Steeler games. And what I really want to highlight on this project is a little bit what I was just talking about is transitioning. And what I want to talk about more is like, I don't just mean like the effects of transitioning, even though that is part of it, like actually having 2D stuff and motion graphics, because that does engage with the audience and the viewer and to move along. But there's things you could do in production, obviously, when you're shooting that you can plan the transition to the next. And that literally could be like an interview to the next piece of B-roll, as well as things afterwards that you can just think about in post and be like, you know what, I need something exciting, and just like cut something up that works. So I'm just going to play a little pieces of this and we're going to talk about it.
Hey guys, it's Matt Light, and I'm here in the heart.
So if you guys didn't notice, that was considered a cold open. I know the sound was really low on that. I want someone to fix that. I kind of do, just for fun. But basically, that was just a piece of, where obviously Matt is picking on someone in Cleveland, and then we cut to like a false opening of the old show Drew Carey. And if you even notice, like we barely even show all of it. I even cut real hard out of it because especially on Facebook where this was going, is like the attention span of anybody is it. Once they realize the joke, which was I almost called him Dana Carvey, Drew Carey. Once they realized what it was, they were kind of over it, and I just cut out as fast as I could. So I'm gonna show you another moment, which is very similar of that. And this is basically like a bring it back joke kind of thing. So for now, he's like back and interviewing everybody.
The former boxing champion Butterbean is a Cleveland Browns fan. Butterbean, how do you feel the Browns are going to do this year? Get out of my house. Makes sense. They all live under a bridge. Jim, how long?
And you can see that was just a quick, bring back the joke, because we were done with that guy. The interview had nothing left. And, bring back the joke, quick clip of something fun. And it could have been anything with editing. Maybe you had some B-roll that you could move around. But basically, you need to make that jump from one part of the video to the next. I know another note. When I really started noticing this was a big deal, is especially with like Facebook, I think. And I guess YouTube has the analytics too. If you are one of the people that dive into the data and look in your analytics, they'll show you when people actually are clicking away. And one thing I noticed was like, even if the video or the piece was very good and very entertaining and I had like high marks, no matter what the next thing was, if I did not have a good transition, they weren't going on to the next thing. And the way I thought about that was, it's like having a really good meal and then you're done. And so you got to find creative ways to get them to move on. I think one example was Portlandia. If you ever watched the comedy show Portlandia, when they're kind of done with the sketch, they have like a exterior shot of like, or something that happens till the next sketch. And it's usually like real quick loud music or something like that. And then right into the next bit. Let's go back to my notes, guys. So yeah. Oh, yes. I'm going to give you another example of this. Whoops. Do you know the most annoying thing with the Zoom is all the faces are all over the place, and I need to get to there we go. Moving you guys around. Move over here. All right, so this project was a Christmas video that we made for fun. And I just want to show you guys the transitions, but actually I'm going to show you the opening too, because it's a nice opening. Hopefully this works. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. So I'm not going to show you the opening. Yeah. You know what? I think I just got something on that shouldn't be on up top here. Yeah. Sorry guys, give me a minute. There we go. All right, so this guy still believes in Santa Claus, basically, and he's talking to Santa.
One eye doesn't close all the way, but I mean...
Actually, I want to forward to the ending so I don't show any inappropriate parts. There we go. So what happens here, Santa's not feeling good, and the poor guy doesn't make it.
You're the funniest, Santa. Santa? Santa! Santa, oh my God, Santa! Somebody call 911. Call the E. Somebody call Dr. Dre. Please help. No!
So, really sorry that our Santa died in your arms. I'm gonna shoot you straight, kid, all right?
You guys want, that's in the links if you guys want to watch that later. But basically what I want to show is the idea we actually had beforehand and how we played that out was to get this shot above of the reaction when Santa passed away. And he's not real Santa, guys. If anyone's like upset right now, he's not real. It's not the real Santa. So when he yells, we want to get that moment where he yells straight up, and then the next shot is also shot from the top, and that's when the other guy throws the Santa suit in front of him. And back to putting down the point, what this really does, it lets you lead into the next scene without losing the audience.